called Rolling Line. It is a train-based game. I'm going to kind of explain what's going on here. Maybe even do some editing for the map so you can kind of see what's going on. So, long story short, these are maps where you can run trains. Probably saw a signal here. These signals actually do work within the game. So here you'll see a red on red signal. The train will actually stop if the AI driver's name is at red signals. So I'll just kind of show you that one. So it does kind of allow you to set up the train in particular different ways without having the trains crash into each other. As long as everywhere that you do have a potential area, you do set up signals. So that's kind of what's going on with that. As we move on here, there's also some other things going on. And by the way, shout out to this map. This is the Emerald map. I will go ahead and post a link to this. I did not make this map, I modded it. So somebody already created a map and then I put some extra stuff into it. A lot of these signals, like these signal bridges and stuff I put in here. And then here's another feature that is part of Rolling Line. This is a loader, as you can tell, load here. If a train, so in this particular instance, it would be the trains coming from the right because of the way the tracks are set up over here. So if a train would approach either here or here, with this switch off to the right, if you follow the track, it'll go right under here, and it'll load steel beams. Now you can actually configure the loader when you want to do it. I will you can do this basically for everything, for signals, for tracks. There we go. We click the options button, which is the Q. This has an option to up to, looks like 8 different items. I specifically wanted it to do the steel loading and unloading. This one is actually a loader. So it will load steel for the train, empty steel. Roll high, it will just load some steel on it. So I'll show you that once we get a potential train. Right now we are double green on this side, which means there's not one coming for a while. So there's also a load loader. You can see that if the train passes by. But I have a loader and an unloader. So when the train goes by, it'll load the wood, and then if there's an unload when the train goes by, it'll unload. Pretty simple, but just thought I'd explain it real quick. We have a bunch of trains on both sides of the track here. So here we have a steel unloader. So as you can tell, I put some steel beams there. And then if this train would have had any steel loaders, it would have driven by and it would have emptied it. Looks like there's one coming this way eventually. You can also see some coal there. So sometimes you'll see a coal loader or an unloader. We'll get to that as we go around the map. There's still a problem. I was trying to test it out, but there's still a problem here. Or one of the trains actually might not have their AI turned on. That's the problem. And then here I push escape, and you get a bunch of menu. And it's going to look really crazy to you if you've never played this game. Don't really focus too much on everything that's going on other than kind of what I'm explaining. In this particular instance, I'm going to just load a train engine. So I'm going to go here, train engines, and then there's a bunch of train engines. So there's actually 13 pages of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and take this one. Now these are the in-game ones. You can actually mod train engines and get ones for like CSX you might have seen. And then I accidentally deleted my controller, so I'm going to have to go over here and grab the controller, and you can actually control the trains. So to control a train, click the locomotive here, and I'll just go ahead and start it going forward for it. To get into it. And you always want, I turn off AI switching because I don't want it to switch itself, I just want it to AI drive. So easier to connect you just driving into each other. There's not a switch. Drive forward now. I'm not exactly sure if it'll go faster if it's easy green and stay steady if it's easy yellow. I just know for a fact it stops at red, so that's what I know. So here we have an unloader. This is for wood. So earlier I think I showed you the wood loader. If a train drives by and goes through the wood unloader, it'll go ahead and take the wood off of the train cartridges. So that's kind of what's going on here. I'm going to do another full loop around the map. This actually has kind of two maps in one. So this map that I'm going around now is, I'll call it the big loop because there's multiple tracks. There's a small loop that only has one track. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that later, but right now we're just going to stay focused on the big loop. And once we kind of understand what's going on there, we'll go ahead and go to the small loop. So that tunnel, you can actually kind of follow it through, but it's dark and doesn't always work the best. Let's go ahead and add another signal just to show you guys how signaling works when you want to add it. So we'll go ahead and keep this one around. So I'm going to go to the details because that's what it is. And we should be able to hover over it. So we'll go ahead and destroy that entity. And then we escape again. Here we go to our Explorer on our signal page, but to go to it, I would have gone to track tab over here. And it's like the fourth, fifth page, I think. It's like fifth page. And then you can, I know which signals they are because I've used them enough just to understand, but I'll zoom in so you can see them a little better. Those are our options here. So we have the 3 lighted one, or we have the 1 light that does all 3 lights. There's just a bunch of different options. I'm going to go ahead and choose the one that was already there before, and then we can place it anywhere we want, and then decide on how we want it to be configured. So, excuse me, we originally had it going around this whole track, and it was going 2 sets for this one. So when a train going this way would smash into one if one was going this way. This is the best way, if you have a cave, to follow the track is to actually put a signal up. So as long as you're red, at least until this other signal, you're good to go. Let's see how much farther we are. If we're too far, we'll put a little less. So it looks like it is a little less. A little too much. And this is really confusing because we're going through caves, but I'm basically just kind of showing how to create this. So as you can see here, we have a train that ran through the steel beam here. It's going to be this one up here, and we're going to have some steel beams. Eventually, as we run through the track, you're going to notice that the steel beams will be unloaded. As we go through that, I'll go ahead and show you. This train is part of the small so I think that was quite a small but I want to show you how the metal works. Not the actual small I was discussing. This tiny that I just showed you. That train will go back around and then actually into the cave as soon as the single is down. So our steel train is activated. excessive amount of trains on the right side, so see how we a couple more we might have on the right side of the track, left side of the track, just to keep it going. See how we have all those double green. It's probably a good time to add another train on the right side of the track. So let's go ahead and add some steel ones right here. So I'll go ahead and click escape to go to our mod menu, and then we'll click modding. I'll actually add on here. So this is not going to be part of the stack game. We have to actually download one of these. Let's do a CSX. I see a lot of those in this area. So the only thing we make sure is that it has AI drive. So once I spot it, You can actually search, but I'm just going to go through all these just to show you. We have quite a bit of different options here because of what we've downloaded. Let's see if the CSX once I take it back over and then turn it into AI drive with the Y on the keyboard, I don't have to worry about auto switch and turning on unless I turn it on. I don't want the train to auto switch. I want to know where the trains on the track are going to go. So we're going to back that up a little bit and we'll see why in a minute, but we're going to back up this train. And we're still going to make sure we have double greens up here. We have double greens, so no trains are really getting close yet. Alright, we're going to stop the train right there. And then I'm going to go to our loaders. I think there are add-on loaders, but I'm just going to stick with the game ones because I know where they're at for the sake of this video. So, same places we go for the original signals and the train mods, and then there's all these options. This little loading and unloading here is what I clicked, and then for steel, that's where we can get our steel right there. And then we just click it once. I'm not the original map creator. I'll go ahead and give them credit. I just added basically all the signals and the loading and unloading steel, wood, and coal props. So that's what I've added to this map. This is a really fun game if you like trains. It gives you the ability to control trains and create maps and set them however you want. Having the ability for the trains to be able to listen to signals, I think, is a really great feature as well. I think they call it officially AI drive. So that is a great feature. I really do enjoy that. Being able to just set signals, knowing if everything is set up correctly, the train